Fruit tier list, baby. All right, I'm Mr. Tier Lister. We're back here with Hot Takes, Blake. I hope you guys had your 8 servings of fruit today because we're talking about fruit today.
Love fruit. You definitely can never eat enough fruit. It's great. Very
That's a
tasty.
great way to start your day. Got the fiber,
Yeah, we
vitamin
got
C, whatever you need. There you go.
yeah.
Let's get
Yeah, we
into
got
it.
all the good ones here too.
Oh no, we got them all. We got everything here. So first up, we got apricots. A lot of people eat these dried, but I think that they're honestly probably better when they're fresh. And you have like two kinds. There's the sweet and juicy ones, kind of soft, which are delicious. And there's the kind of tart ones, which in their own right, I think are
I
lovely.
would disagree with pretty much everything you just said, man. I'd say raw. I don't think there are any good ones. I think they always have a weird taste. They're too small to be bothered with. They're a tongue or a tooth tickler. Oh, that's a tongue twister right there. A
As a
tooth
tongue twister.
tickler. Biting into them, they're a little fuzzy, so they give you a little tickle on the tooth, which I'm not a fan of. And I'd say dried apricots are a lot better.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a common take, but I'm a big fan of the fresh ones, and they're not as
Yeah.
filling.
I mean, the
Um,
real
s-
argument though is it apricot or apricot?
Apricot, I would say. Yeah.
Apricot. Okay, apricot. I would say maybe a C tier.
I guess we could start high C tier for
I
now.
see. Yeah, that's fine.
Next up, the best pregame to a dick appointment right here. You need this one. This is the good stuff right here. The pineapple, delicious. It like attacks your tongue. It's a good one. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. In Africa, I saw how it grew too. It grows right out of the ground in a bush. It's the weirdest thing, just coming up out of the ground. They're delicious though, and they eat you while you eat them.
Yeah. It's like an enzyme.
I don't know if I'd go sweet and juicy because there's enough good ones following it that I think it might get a little crowded if we're sticking pineapple in there. But pineapple definitely deserves some respect.
I mean, I was gonna go sweet and juicy,
No, I
but
know you were.
I'm gonna go for sweet and juicy, and we'll see what else goes up there. Okay, and then we'll move it down. I'm gonna start up there though.
I'm just, we might have to kick it, but
I agree with that. Next up, we got the classic pre-workout, breakfast replacement, smoothies, the banana. Yum, yum. Just don't eat in front of your friends.
I don't think there's anything on here that's as filling as a banana. A banana just fills that niche so much. It's great for eating in the morning too, and you don't want to eat anything too sweet or really that tastes like anything because a lot of bananas don't really taste like anything. So it's nice just to fill your stomach to start with. So
I'm saying A tier for this one.
yeah, I don't think it's there's not enough flavor to get sweet and
To,
juicy,
to
but
know, I think it's like a solid A tier. Yeah. Next up, I think cherry is solid for flavoring like drinks or candy stuff like that. But an actual cherry, the pit to fruit ratio is so off. It's just such a hassle trying to eat cherries. Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I disagree with you entirely again, man. I'd say that the cherry flavoring sucks. I hate cherry flavored anything, but actual cherries, I don't mind them. They're pretty refreshing. The pit to eating ratio, whatever, man. It's half the fun to pack your mouth with 18 million seeds and then just all at once.
Machine gun. So I was gonna say
Machine gun.
probably compost or D tier.
I'd say B tier.
So we're gonna meet at a
Low
D,
C.
so C tier. Yeah, low C
Low
tier.
C.
Next up, we got two oranges on this one. This is the Mandarin variety, the better variety. They're easier to peel. They're smaller. You have one, it's delicious. You go for two, you go for three. Can't complain. Great kind of orange.
Except none of them are ever as good as the first one. So that's my one complaint. So you eat one and you're like, that was the most amazing experience of my life. And then you eat another one and it's mushy and it doesn't taste as good. That's my only complaint. Other than that, yes, great. Love it.
It teaches you self-control.
Yeah. Have one mandarin. It's great to have one
I think we're
mandarin.
both gonna agree here. It's a B tier.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also a
I think
lot
so.
easier to peel than an orange, which is nice.
Yeah, that's what I said. The peelability is very
The
good.
peelability is high.
Next up, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think strawberry is actually the worst of the three or four actually berries. I don't really like strawberries. They're frozen. They're really horrible, which I don't like because I like frozen fruit in general. So for me, strawberries are weak.
Yeah, not the greatest. I will say that wild strawberries are really good, but this is definitely not taking that into account. So I would say, yeah, they're not nothing special.
Would you agree with D tier?
D tier, yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we got the best probably of the berries,
Yes.
the raspberry. Yes. It's so fibrous. It's so delicious. smoothies, just eating and putting in your cereal. Frozen, they're
Eating it
amazing.
straight from the bush is just the way, and it's amazing.
Yeah, delicimo.
At least,
And where are we going with the raspberry? I think it A tier at
sweet and
least.
juicy.
Sweet
Sweet
and
and
juicy.
juicy.
I
Sweet and
mean,
juicy.
for the best berry, you got to go for it.
Oh, you go head to head with pineapple. How are you saying that raspberries aren't better
Yeah,
than pineapple?
yeah. I'm
This is
gonna
just
say
a head to head match that
you're saying raspberries
incredible.
are better.
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Next up, we got. I'm gonna say predict it's the worst fruit on this list right here, the pomegranate. We talked about the duress of eating. There's the annoyance of eating a cherry. The annoyance of eating a pomegranate is times a million. It's like, who eats this? It's useless. It's annoying. It doesn't taste that good. Forget it. Compost.
Send it. Send it.
Send it down there. Yeah, all you pomegranate fans out there. Silliness. Absolute silliness.
Yep.
Next up, we got the tennis ball fruit here, the kiwi, the fuzzy boy. I recently started eating kiwis with the peel on, and it's pretty good, actually. It's not bad, the fuzziness.
That's another tooth tickler if you're doing that. Holy, you must got
Is that,
some not ticklish teeth.
what are you saying for the kiwi?
Too tart. Too tart for me to say that it's amazing, but I don't mind them. They're good. High C probably
I was
for
going to
me.
say B, but
Yeah, you can put it in B.
I'm gonna
That's
go
fine.
low B because I'm a big fan. They're pretty healthy too. They're good antioxidants, I think. Next
All
up,
this is probably very healthy, so I
yeah,
don't know if
that's
that's
true.
a huge argument.
Yeah, it is fruit after all.
It is fruit.
Next up, we got mango. And even in the picture, they know the strategy. I learned that when I was like 7, the little cutting board strategy. And it's delicious. You pop that out, you bite in there. No, mangoes are delicious.
Yeah, good. Get really stuck in your teeth, but that's basically the only downside I can think of. I'd even be an advocate of saying that dried mango is the best way to eat it too. Even
You and
though
your
like
dry,
eating it
no,
raw is good too, but dry is
you and your dried fruit, I can't deal with it. But I'm gonna go sweet and juicy for this one. Are you agree with that, or is it
yep.
a high A tier?
No doubt. Sweet and juicy.
Sweet and juicy. Between the two, probably. Next up, we got cantaloupe. Now, a lot of people hate on the honeydew and the cantaloupe, but I would say they're both better than watermelon. That's a crazy take, but I'm a pretty big fan of the cantaloupe. Mom used to make it a lot, and I like it.
Nah, it's trash, man. It's not very good. This isn't cantaloupe either. This is honeydew.
No. Honeydew is the green one.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. So this is cantaloupe.
Yep.
Not good.
Really? Okay. So I was gonna say probably a low A tier or high B tier. So what are you gonna
I think
say?
at
D
its
tier?
highest end, it's good. So it's kind of hard to keep it. But I just think from my experience, so much of the time, it's just mushy or not flavored very well. I don't know. Where are you going to put it?
I was gonna put it at probably high B tier, I would say.
No.
So low C tier
No.
perhaps, or mid C tier.
You go high C tier. I'm thinking about it a bit more, and it's growing on me, the idea.
Next up we got blackberries. Something about like all the little like holes in the blackberry and just like the amount of like seeds in them makes it so nice to bite into. And in a smoothie it gets so many seeds, and I really like that. It's not as good as the raspberry, but it's definitely a pretty solid berry.
No, yeah, it's definitely tart in a not all the time enjoyable way, but I like it when you eat it right off the bush and it's like almost gonna fall off. Like it's super ripe, super soft. It's less tart, more sweet. That's the best way to eat it. And at that point, it's very, very good.
Where are we going for the blackberry here?
B tier, probably.
I think it's the
Yeah,
best in the B tier, we gotta say.
sure.
B for
Sure.
blackberry.
Flea for
Next up, we got
blackberry.
blueberry. It comes in at number 3 in the berries for me. It's pretty good, has a decent flavor. There's some good smoothies with it, but it's not fantastic. It's fine.
Wild blueberries are
Well,
very lit.
wild anything. We've decided. You've said wild every time,
Oh,
so
I know, but
wild,
how much of this have you actually had wild of?
not a lot.
We live in the Yukon, man. But the blueberries, yeah, wild, very good. They're
I
good.
think they have to land high C tier now. Or you're thinking a B tier?
I think B tier. I mean, it's great flavoring. It's my favorite fruit flavoring, I think. A lot of the other fruit ones
Raspberry
generally
is way
don't.
too strong usually. Say high C tier.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll start there for now.
Okay.
Next up we got peach. Peach is good. Peach is yummy. It's when you have that peach like juices all over your hands, it's kind of satisfying. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's good. A classic, just buy it off the side of the road and that's the best peach you've ever had kind of thing.
Yeah.
Delicious. A little bit of a tooth tickler, but it's worth it.
You and your tartness and tooth ticklingness is a nice variability. So where are we
They're
going for the
high on my
H?
list. High on my list of variables.
I was
A.
thinking low A tier, yeah, below
Yeah.
banana. Next up, we got orange. If you prefer oranges to mandarins, I can't help you here. I don't know. They're just like hard to peel, not as kind of like nice snackness as a mandarin, and they just don't taste as good. So I'm thinking that yeah, I'm not a huge orange guy. They're all right.
Yeah. I'm big on them. I mean, I'm big on most everything here, so I probably agree with your placement. I think one thing about them is when you open them, it really makes your hands smell like oranges, which is nice. But then I remember sometimes mom would have oranges like right before we went to bed, and then she'd like floss my teeth, and it would just be like orange in my mouth, and it was not the greatest. I think that turned me off of the whole orange thing for a while, but
Yeah, and then they're
the
good
flavor's
after
there.
you smoke some, to cleanse your hands. Remember that one? Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good tactic taught to
that's
me
a good
by the
tactic.
best in
Yeah,
the
the
game.
best. Yeah. I'm thinking orange. I was probably gonna put it maybe a C tier, but maybe I'll do this. Actually, I agree with you now. I'm gonna do this. Is that okay?
That's perfect, man. You read my mind.
Perfect. There you go. That's what we were thinking. Because I can't make one of the tiers too big. Next up, we got
It's
grapefruit.
gotta be symmetrical.
It's got to be a little bit symmetrical. We got to think about it here.
Okay, yeah.
Next up, we got grapefruit. For all you like heart attack people like Dad, you can't eat it. So too bad for you. But you're not missing out because it's not good by itself. The flavoring and things is great, but like eating a grapefruit by itself is really trash.
I knew this was gonna be probably our biggest split here because I really love grapefruit. I think it's great. I think grapefruit juice is great. It's a great mixer, and eating a grapefruit just by itself too is great. I don't know. I like the sourness. It's a really nice flavor. It's very juicy.
We're gonna have to meet halfway because I was gonna go for compost. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was gonna probably just send it sweet and
So
juicy.
it's gonna be either B or C. So I guess we can go
We can go
for
C because like now that I'm thinking about it, like sweet and juicy doesn't actually apply to grapefruit because grapefruit's not really sweet at all.
we can go the
It's
highest C tier here.
it's sour and juicy. So
It's
A
bitter. I
tier.
think it's bitter, but it's whatever it is I don't like it. Next up, we got pear. I don't think I eat enough pears as I should. Like a good pear is really good. The problem with pears is that most of them aren't that good. And like when they're hard, they're really annoying and they make your stomach kind of feel bad. But a good pear is good.
Unremarkable. Also way too juicy sometimes. Usually when things are juicy, they follow up with taste, but I've had pears that are like really juicy and they don't even taste that bad. And you like are halfway through eating it and it's like you're eating a faucet and you just feel like giving up. You're like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes against the sweet and juicy as the top tier, but because it's sweet, it's juicy but not sweet sometimes.
It messes with your mind in that respect, man. And that's the
Yeah, I was gonna go B tier, B for Bartlett tier, but you were gonna go probably D or compost, right?
D.
Yeah, we'll
Worse than
go.
strawberries too. If I would do a head to head, I would say worse than
I'm gonna go
strawberries.
better than strawberries because I'm gonna say yeah, we put it there
You're
for
gonna
now.
put it a bit okay.
Yeah. Here's watermelon. Watermelon. People love this one, but maybe it's just from where we're from. But all the watermelons I've ever had have been awful. They just don't have any water in them. They're not juicy. Like that one in the picture looks amazing, but most watermelons I ever have are just terrible.
Yeah, watermelons. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna vouch for it enough to pull it out of the depths. I think it's gonna end up pretty far back. It's very refreshing. You gotta remember those soccer games where a parent would come out with a Tupperware full of watermelon slices, and that was just the shit. Like you loved that.
I hit different a little bit. Yeah, but I was thinking probably D tier for me.
Would have said C probably. So I don't know. You want to put it high D tier, maybe?
High D tier, sure. Next up, this is the Max Classic, or should I say the Hot Take Blake Classic? Eating 3 of these a day. They get yourself your fiber. These are great. And there's so many good varieties of apple. We could do an entire episode on apples. We could. We might.
Oh,
We
we
will.
could. We
We
probably
will.
will. Oh, 3. Try 6, man. There have been days, especially when I'm at home and there's just the bag sitting on top of the fridge. It's like every time you walk by the fridge, you just grab one. And they're that good. You could just eat them all day.
Oh,
Delicious.
it's going teleporting itself right up to the sweet and juicy, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Is anything else here even have like a crunch at all? I'm just thinking of that because that's like the biggest thing about an apple is that it's very
Well,
crunchy.
lower in the tier, they have cucumbers, but that's, I don't know why would we do that as a fruit. In
No,
terms of actual fruit,
it's got
yeah,
such a nice,
a
refreshing,
pear.
crisp.
A pear can be crisp, but not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Yes, not in a good way.
Is this the best of the best?
I mean, I put it in the best. It's up to you, really, if you want to drag it down a bit. But I would not take you like you cannot pull it out of that tier. You can put it wherever you want in that tier, but
I'm gonna have to
not
put it at the
on
end. Just
not
because
when
of
I'm on the
flavor.
show.
Just because of flavor. I'm gonna just have to put it at
Well,
the end
you
of the
like
S tier.
Macintoshes, so we know you're a
No,
psychopath
I've
anyway.
changed my mind. I'm more like a Honey Crisp and Pink Lady, that kind of guy.
A normal human being is what you've become, because
Ambrosia.
those are, yep, you're naming all the good ones. Yep, there you go.
There you go. Next up, we got grape, and I saw a poll recently, and it was green grape compared to purple grape, and it was like I think it was 40% of people like purple grapes. Purple grapes are so bad. Like green grapes that have been in the fridge are so much better. They're so crispy. They're so delicious.
Yeah, I don't mind the like I don't know what you call them. They're like the bluish grapes.
Yeah,
I
the
think
ones
they're
in the
called
left here. Yeah.
Concords. Those are really good too. I like all kinds of grapes. I think grapes are really good. I'd say the only thing is that they're very expensive. So
Yeah.
that's the downside. But we're just talking about the actual thing. So the actual thing, I'd put an A tier. I think they're all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drag it down to the lowest A tier, I think. But yeah,
Okay.
to me, I'm only a green grape guy. I think you're only really gonna get me with the
I
green
w-
grapes.
I would agree that's the best kind of grape. Super
Yeah,
refreshing, nice and
yeah.
sweet.
I mean, I've become a big advocate in like refrigerating apples and other fruit, but grapes you have to. When you get that like refrigerated crunch, the nice chili crunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
yum.
Love it.
All right,
Speaking the
that is our
gospel.
tier list.